Welcome to this video. My name is Eva, and in this video I talk about enemas and colonics. Because why? I think there's so much information out there on the internet, etc., that it's so misleading and it can actually be dangerous in my opinion. So I just wanted to share with you my experience. Please keep in mind, I'm no doctor or a professional health doctor. So please always go to a doctor. And yeah, I just share my experience because I think it can help people, but it's just my experience. So first of all, um what is an enema and why do we need an enema or a colonic? So basically an enema looks a little bit like this. There are different forms of enemas, but the system is basically always the same. The system sounds maybe strange, but the system is basically that you want to get water flushed into your colon, not from drinking, but from below. Sounds so weird, so strange to probably a lot of people, but like in the video I explain a lot. And this could be an enema. Basically you can order it on the internet or something, and you basically have a tube going here into your butt. Into your butt. So this is the system of an enema. A colonic is when it's professionally done by professionals. And yes, but it's basically the same. They also put water inside your colon with a machine. Just that a colonic, it's slower. They really like they should, if it's very well done, they should make it really slow and like a long process, 1 hour or something, so that your colon has like time to adapt, etc. So that is the difference. A colonic more expensive but professional, enema unprofessional, cheap. So this is the difference. Why do people do enemas or um, colonics? The reason for that and is super interesting. And if you have not read the books about or from or Arnold Ehret's books, sorry, my English is so bad and German, but I'm working on it. I would highly recommend his books because he explains it super well. He's actually already dead, but his philosophy and his research keeps going on living, and it's really interesting. And it basically says that disease starts in the gut. So he says humans are frugivores, which I agree, and humans are meant to thrive on a fruit-based diet, obviously. But in our society, unfortunately, we eat lots of bad stuff like animal products or dead animals, as I would say. But people say that animal products, and fast food, and all of junk food and all of that, or dairy products, what our body can basically not digest properly. So what happens when our body cannot digest it very well? There are very small parts that are stuck in our colons because the food cannot really get digested, because it's just our colon is not meant to digest animal products or animals or dairy. It's just not how our system is created. So what happens is that these stuff gets stuck in the colon, and it kind of ferments or rots because I mean, you have to imagine, I was not raised vegan. I was raised on dead animals. So I have for many years, until I was 12, and I decided no more. I had to eat animals, you know. So like over the years, especially if you're like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you have a lot of rotting stuff in your colon, most probably. So that's really something that is important to understand, because this rotten material creates like an acidic environment, and it's very like an acidic environment is good for parasites. So parasites can live there, which is so bad for your body, because people think, oh, I will never get parasites and it's just something that like dogs or cats have, but that's not true. People also have parasites, and it's super disgusting. And I personally believe there's so many more people having parasites than people would actually know. So people run around with parasites. And yes, and so they have parasites, and also because this stuff in the colon rots, it can create disease, and it's much more likely. Like if you have a sick gut, a sick colon, you're much more likely to develop disease than if you have a healthy colon, obviously. And I think now, especially Western medicine, hopefully, understands and really emphasizes the importance of a healthy colon for health, for overall health. So the idea behind a colonic or an enema is that we live so unnaturally. Like most people live so naturally eating junk food. Even when they're children, they don't even drink the milk from the mom, but they get like dairy milk, which is so bad for them. So it's just unnatural, and so it's like Arnold Ehret especially also says it's super important to clean out the gut with a colonic, for example. And yes, so now my personal opinion, now that you know what is a colonic and why people use it, first of all, I would say always choose a colonic over an enema because a colonic is just professionally done. And an enema, the problem with an enema is that it's not professional, and it could, in my opinion, and from my way of thinking, it could really maybe hurt you internally or be damaging for your colon or something. So this is number one. I would choose now that I have the knowledge. I would choose a colonic, even though it's more expensive, but it's just important. Personally, I find it to be very important because you don't want to hurt yourself internally. The second thing is that some people, and this is an advice that I find to be quite dangerous, say that it's okay or even beneficial to take enemas or colonics like on a regular basis. Let it be every day, every week, or every month. And I don't think that's a good idea. Why? Because when you take something on a regular basis, you train your body to depend on it. So instead of your body giving you a natural bowel movement, now you need an enema and you create this dependency on an enema. So my recommendation, my personal recommendation would of course just to do it once, and maybe except if you have cancer or like a really hardcore disease, then maybe you need 2 3 days of taking enemas just to flush out all of this shit that you have inside of you. But my personal recommendation um, would be not to take it on a personal level, especially enemas, because like you could I don't know, I would not take the risk of hurting myself, so I would really do it professionally um on and just once to really clean out your colon. And now my experience, and so I did enemas, because when I turned fruit-based, I got really into detox and all of that, and I found it to be very interesting. I read all of Arnold Ehret's books, and I was like, okay, I will do it. So I bought an enema, and I did a few enemas, and it was really crazy. Like I think people say, oh, enema does not work, or or I don't know, the idea behind cleaning your colon is not valid. And I'm like, yes, you have to do it to understand what's it all about. Because if you would do it, you would realize, wow, it's true. Because there's really, and I was vegan at that point for 2 years and vegetarian for 5 more years or something. And I still had so much like bad stuff, like really dark, black stuff that was coming out of your colon. And it's not poop. That's really just stuff that is sitting there for years and years and years, rotting basically. And yeah, it was just a really good feeling to get it out. What I would do different now is to, instead of doing enemas, because now I know that they could be dangerous, I would do a colonic. But I didn't know, I didn't have that advice, but I have it now. I have the information now, so I would not do it again. Yes, and also when danger or something or last words. Why I would also not recommend it to do it on a regular basis is that, believe it or not, but people can get addicted to enemas or colonics, and it sounds strange, but especially people who have a tendency to eating disorders or a tendency to um, like perfectionism or something, they're more prone to do enemas and colonics. Why? Because once you eat super super bad for many years and then you want to eat healthier, of course you want to clean your body, and then it becomes like this smart no this quick fix of instead of eating healthy, you can binge on bad food, and instead of that you just eat just take an enema or go to do a colonic, and that is not what we want. A colonic or an enema is really just if you have either a disease, or do it just once if you were raised on unhealthy junk food, which unfortunately probably most, or if not all, of us in Western society were had to eat. Yeah, but like, don't get addicted to it. Use it once, or go to a colonic center, what I recommend, professionally done, and then that like maybe in 10 years or 20 years you can do another one, but don't get addicted to it, because believe it or not, there are people who get addicted to it. That's really damaging. And yes, I think that's all about enemas or about colonics. And maybe some last words that I find to be super, super funny in our society is, once you like read more books of Arnold Ehret, you realize that people, especially in our Western society, are so focused on being so clean and, oh no, no dirt, no nature, no like I have to shower 3 times a day and no sweat and all of that. But internally, when you would look at their colon, they're just full of like shit and full of bad stuff, and maybe probably they have parasites. I personally believe from my research that if you have ever eaten fish or meat, you're most likely having parasites. Yeah, so I would, instead of focusing, of course, focus on being clean, shower, and all of that, but also focus on your inner cleanliness and what is the state of your organs and your gut and all of that. And yes, so this is the video that I wanted to make today. If you want to have more information and advice about a fruit-based diet, I'm eating a fruit-based diet for over 4 years now. I still love it. It's my life purpose to share about eating healthy. So, yes, and if you want a super duper amazing free meal plan that has so many pages and so much advice, then for sure check out the free um, meal plan. And yeah, so the link is in the description or in the comment section. And I wish you a wonderful day. If you have any more questions or comments, write them down in the comment section. I read them, answer them. And yes, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. My English is not the best, and I really want to apologize for that. Especially like, I'm German, but I want to live on the Canary Islands, which speak Spanish. So the more Spanish I learn, the less English I speak, which is super sad. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And yes, I hope you have a wonderful day and so much love to you. Bye bye.